Okay. Cool. There we go. Welcome in Wahid, Sabada, and whoever else is coming on. Let me share my screen. And this is what we're working on today. And I think that will do it. And Xavier, I'll answer your question that you emailed me. Sorry, I did not look at my email this weekend, but now I'm ready to. So welcome in, folks. And so Xavier, I'll answer. I think you emailed me a question. Somebody did, so I'll answer those questions during lab today. And there we go. We're just about set. Okay, good. Yeah, I'll go through the questions and get them answered. Basically, this is for people who, not everybody can get over to the labs, whether they're either they can't get there when it's open or they can't get there at all. So what do you do for this physical stuff, right? And when class gets going, I'll answer those questions, especially for this down here, especially since you're certifying it. And you can certainly certify that you were not able to get to the lab. That's one thing that you can do, but I'll give you some other options too. Okay, so here we go. We're set. Welcome to Design 3, 20 Week 10 Rocket Car Model and Booth Images plus continuing your work. People did the commented stuff that I got was very good overall. A few people either forgot to share the file or shared it as view only. And I know originally it said view only, but I need it to share as with comments or commenter, because I cannot read your comments, and that means I can't reply to your comments as view only. So if you got a 1, please go back and just change the sharing link. I'll go through them tomorrow or the next day. You don't need to resubmit. Just I'll go through the ones that all had that, and I'll get those taken care of. But you'll start seeing, part of what we're doing here. This class really throws a lot at you. So this is part of collaboration technology. This is how it's done in industry. Right now, I'm on 4 collaboration docs. 2 of them are about interviews. 2 of them are about like this design that we're doing for the AV lab. 1 is for the design of the VR lab. This is how we communicate now. Nobody wants to go to meetings. Yay. I hate meetings, except for the donuts. Always somebody had to bring donuts. And so this is just getting you used to the fact that 1, somebody's going to read it and make comments, and you should make comments to make things more clear or ask questions. And 2, that you need to reply in a reasonable time frame. Okay, so that was from last week. And the sharing permissions are always a problem. I mean, I forget to attach files, I forget to share things correctly. It's just a quick little reminder, okay, share it, okay, got it. So there's nothing wrong with that, it's just part of life. But please go back if you got a 1 on the commented requirements, go back and share it so that anyone with the link can comment. And then I can go through it. And so those of you who did get comments back, go back and read them. Sometimes they were validating what you said. Sometimes they were answering questions that you had, and they were very well done overall. So good work. Remember that this project. The rocket car is secondary, but it's the cool part. So we're going to work on the rocket car today, but first we're going to do another thing that's about the competition. Okay, and then we'll do the rocket car model, and I'll go over some show booths idea. All that should take maybe half an hour or so, and then you can start working on your rocket car model competition and show booth ideas. Okay, so that's what's up. Let me show you how, and please go through these. These are actually pretty cool. And the rocket science one, that is, I think, where you should take the educational part from of this. It is so well done. You could even, for the educational portion of the booth, just put a monitor up and play that thing in a loop, because it's only like 3 or 4 minutes long. And you could even do part of it, right? You know how to insert a YouTube so that it only plays the first 5 minutes or 2 minutes to 3 minutes or whatever. This guy is so good. Really, really, really good. Okay, so let's talk, let's talk about, and I want to talk about the logbook a little bit. Okay, first, and this is the week 10 logbook. Remember, there's new. Put the hours that you worked each day right here and total them up. This part here, where I've got the little boxes, those should be visuals. That's where you want to do your visuals. So a lot of people did put images in, but some people just typed out what they did. The idea behind visuals is there's a lot of reasons for it. But first of all, bosses don't like to read. And they talk about in one ear, out the other. It's like into the eyes and out the ears. Yeah, that's how bosses are. And so you need some visuals to let them know the progress. Okay? Also, when I come back and act as a reference for you, you guys put me down as a reference for this, that, or the other thing, and the people call me up and I look up your logbooks and I go, oh, on this week they did this and this and this, and I can see that. What do you mean you can see? Well, yeah, I've got the logbook right here. They're amazed, and they go, you mean they can actually keep records? Yes, I'm hiring them right away. That is the number one thing that I get feedback from the people who are calling me for a reference. Okay, the fact that you keep records is the big deal. Yeah.
So you mentioned on the logbook,
yeah,
the new logbook, we don't have to type, we just need to add this.
Yeah, just put a couple of pictures in.
Okay.
Okay, and so sometimes that's not easy because your pictures are maybe just of your comment lines or your file. You know, this is just a file that you're writing.
Yeah.
Right? But yes, these should be visual. These should be visual.
So no typing, just visual.
No typing needed.
Okay.
Okay? So that's cool. So let's go into number 1 and let me tell you about this. So this is a talking points template. Okay, when you create a show booth, you always give the person who's at the booth, running the booth, a set of talking points that you're going to try to hammer home to everybody. They come, and you see this in debates all the time, right? The debaters have talking points, and no matter what the question is, they say their talking points instead, right? But in a show booth particularly, you know, how much does that cost? You should see about how educational this is, right? It was like, you know, you always want to get back somehow to the talking points so that you have this clear, concise message that everybody hears. So for the show booth now, you're going to create talking points, and obviously if your booth material supports the talking points, I've been telling you that it's easier to point at something and say something than just to sit up in front of people and yak. So the talking points will help you know what materials to put in the booth. We're not really going to do that much on that. But it helps the people who are in the booth, in this case, trying to recruit participants to this competition, helps them know what to say, show, do. Talking points. And there's a little thing about talking points here. This guy actually says it very well, and it's about a totally different subject, so you have to sort of take what he says and filter it out a little bit. And I'm going to say that most people at the type of event that we would be showing this at can remember 2 or 3 things at the most. So you want to hit them with, at the most, 3 talking points, right? And so I'm going to let you figure out what those talking points are. But to help you, one, go back to your commented project page and do a real quick summary of what the booth is for, a real quick summary about the project, and think of 3 things you would want the audience to hear. Okay? End result being, yes, I'm going to sign my kid up, or I'm going to sign up, we're going to do the rocket car competition. Or a teacher is going to say, yeah, I'm going to have my class do the rocket car competition. Okay, so 3 things. I would suggest that one of them has to do with education. One of them has to do with sort of, you can do it, you know. We've got materials for you, we've got instruction for you, we've got samples, we have mentoring, and number 3 would be, this is cool. Those would be sort of my 3 talking points, if I were doing it, would be around those things. Okay? You're going to learn something, right? We're going to help you do it, and it's going to be cool. So those would be examples of 3 talking points. You can flesh that out later on, right? Well, how are you going to show that it's educational? How are you going to show that we're going to be able to help? How are you going to show that it'll be cool? So this is your way of starting to, not starting, you've been thinking about it already, but to document it so that somebody could see your design. Okay, so I'm thinking this will take you, it would take me about 20 minutes, because I've done hundreds of these throughout my career, so maybe an hour. Spend an hour. If it's like, I'll comment on it. Also, share it as anyone with the link can comment, so that I can give you comments back. Instead of doing it in Canvas, I'm going to give you your comments on this document. So you'll have your own copy, you'll submit your own copy. Oh wait, I think I said to submit it as a PDF. That's okay. Submit the PDF. I can comment to PDF. So I'll send it back to you with comments, or I'll make comments in Canvas. Okay, it doesn't have to be long. You know, this might expand to be 1 full page, maybe. Okay, doesn't have to be fancy at all. And that's this one right here, Talking Points Template. And I put a link to that project. Oh, and here is something that would give you an example of I'm not opening that very well. There we go. This is an example of what you might put up. Rocket car competition, you know. Why? Just for fun. You know, you'll have to maybe do a little bit better than that. You know, who, what, where, when, right? This is the type of thing. This is just for your information of something that you might do. as materials in your booth. Okay, but it gives you also an idea of what you might do, like here's a registration form, very simple, cool little registration form. This is just to give you ideas. Watch a rocket car go. It'll go at about 12 seconds. There it goes.
Oh wow.
And that last little part was it ejecting the engine. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, we've run these. They're pretty fun. That one was with San Juan Unified. There was a class that we did this with, and there were some really cool rocket cars. Okay, so that's about the rocket car competition. Talking points that you're gonna do. Okay, and this is where it says, this is, remember how to add comments to your Google Doc. And it's saying submit the link to your rocket car. I don't think I've got that right. Look on Canvas, I think that's a PDF. Let me look on Canvas really quick. No, it says submit the link to your rocket car folder. Oh, probably because I'm telling you to put this in it. Okay, yeah, so here's the next thing. The first thing to do is make a folder. There's my folder. It's actually your folder. I made a folder for you that you can get stuff. Make a folder and put all of your rocket car materials in it. Okay? And then when you take this, here's what I usually do. I download it and upload it. But you can do a move to or file move and put it in that folder. That's how you would do it. Okay, so what I'm asking you to do is get everything all in one folder, and you're gonna see why at the end of this. Because we have this stuff called Pack and Go that takes an entire folder and ships it off to people. Okay, so step one, make a copy of the project description, all the stuff, all the rocket car stuff, and put it in a folder. Okay, then do your talking point sheet, put it in the folder. You're gonna submit the link to your competition folder. So make sure that that link to that folder is anyone with the link can view. Okay, and if you have a document with comments, that has to be shared. Anyone with the link can comment. Okay, so I'm sure we'll be going all around on it, but this is going to start driving a file management system in Google Drive. Okay, project description, all of the resources, put them in a Google Drive folder, rocket car competition with your initials, make your talking points. Anyone with the link can view, get it all in that one folder and give me the link to that folder. Okay, next up is the rocket car model. So now we need to download all those files. Here they are right here, and I've opened it up. This is the rocket car plus information about the rocket that we're using. It's always cool to add that on. Sizing chart. We're using this C and D. We're using a C6 rocket. And here are here is what the assembly looks like. And whether yours is exactly like that or not, doesn't really matter, but that's about it. That's the rocket car, approximately. So this is just for information, and you can get those here, but I've actually changed it. Okay, so now, let's see what we're supposed to do in number 2. Download them, and then we're gonna do the rocket car body base model. Before we do that, I'm gonna show you why it all has to be in one folder. Okay, because Inventor works in a funny manner. Okay, when you make an assembly, it's not really a file with everything in it. It's a file with links to everything, and every time you open up that file, it goes and finds all the parts and puts them together. So if it can't find the parts, it goes, I don't know what to do, and you have to do a whole bunch of work. Okay, so let's try that. Here we go. I've got everything in here, and I've got Inventor open. So and I'm gonna open, actually, let me come back to here. I'd better come back to here and make my own version. So now here's my own version. So the first thing I need to do is get all of these files, and I need to download them. I'm just gonna zip them. Takes a little while sometimes. There it goes. And then here's the weird thing. When I open that up, I can't upload the zip file, and I can't upload directly from here. So I need to copy those and put them somewhere. So I'm gonna put those back into my download folder. Isn't that weird? Google doesn't work with zips very well. But now I can take all of those and let's see where that is. There it is. And I can put them in mine. So now I have a copy of them all that's mine. Okay, and I need to go to the sharing button for my folder and set it as anyone with the link can view. So now anybody can see the stuff in here. So they're all in a folder. Now here comes the next weird part. Okay, I also want to put those in my W drive, right? Because Inventor can't work on these. They're in the cloud. I need them in my W drive. So let's come back here and copy those, and I'm going to put them in my W drive, 320, spring 2024. And I'll make a new folder that we said was Rocket Car Model Files Schuster.
Am I gonna have problems doing this on my own computer? Like, should I do it on the ARC computer?
I do it. Do you have Inventor on yours?
Yeah. I do, but I don't know if it's gonna, like, you know how I didn't have like the warehouse.
That won't be a problem.
Okay.
You
So
should
it
have
shouldn't
everything you need here. Okay, there we go. So now I've done my file stuff. I've made a folder in Google Drive. I've made a folder in my W Drive or on your own computer, and I'm ready to go. So here we go. I'm in Inventor, and I'm going to open, and I'm going to go to my W Drive. Rocket car models, And I'm gonna open the assembly just for fun. I'm gonna open it, and it goes, well, it's looking for all these parts somewhere else. It's looking for them in something called the E drive, or wherever I built this. So I have to go through and says, okay, the base model is this one in the folder that I've already got. Cool, there it is. And there's the CAD Cruiser. Isn't that cool? There's the CAD Cruiser. I want to look at it from over here where I can see it. And we've checked it out, that is 3D printable without supports. So that's the first thing, I want to see that. But then I go, and you could just submit this. You do not need to make your own changes. But I think it's kind of cool. So let me open now that body. The body. There it is. It takes a while to open. There it is. There's the CAD Cruiser. And remember I told you about parameters. So there are some parameters that you can change and some that you can't. Come on, little parameters, open up. There they are. So here are all the parameters. And if you're not supposed to change it, Christian has said, do not change this.
So don't change any of the parameters.
Nothing that says do not change.
Okay.
Okay, but like you can do the overall length. So let's change, I'm going to change the overall length, base length, from 200 millimeters to 175 millimeters. I want mine to be a little short and stubby. Takes a little while. Uh-oh, something didn't like that. Didn't like that change. Let me go back, 200. Let me change the nose length. See what happens then. If I change it to 25 millimeters. There we go. Some things change easily and some things don't. So I've shortened that one up. Let me move this wheel back a little bit. That's whole distance 2 probably. I make that 160 millimeters. Okay, well that's going to be too close to that wing, isn't it? So let me make it a little bit more like 170. Okay, and maybe I want, so you can play around with these, and I think down here, it's not in the parameters, but if you look at this thing that says emboss, way down at the bottom, emboss, and double click the sketch. Mine's now the Sonic Screamer, and I can move it to a better spot. And then you click the green check mark. So you can play around and see what it is, and he has some black stuff in there. Don't worry about that, because when you 3D print it, it really won't matter. He has a little background that's black. Okay, now watch, when I save this, and I go back to my assembly, there's way up at the top, well, it made all the changes because I saved it. But there's a little thing way, way, way at the top, a little lightning bolt. Just click that and that saves everything in the assembly. Saves all the new stuff in the assembly. Now I see another thing is, I want this thing, if you know about drag racers, you kind of want them pointing down a little bit because you want the velocity to help push it into the ground. You don't want this thing to try to take off. It's going to be on a wire, so it can't take off, but it'll be better pushes into the ground. So I'm going to make my back wheels a little bit bigger. So let's see if I've got some wheels that I can do. So he's got these kind of, so I'd have to go into, well, let's see. Let's see if I can make just the back wheels bigger. I'm gonna double click on that one. And then I'm gonna double click on that. And I'm gonna go to my parameters for the wheel thickness, spacer length. He doesn't have the diameter on here listed, but let's just make that diameter bigger. Let's make it 3 and just see what happens. Wouldn't do it. Okay, I'll play around with that. We should be able to make bigger wheels for the back. I'll get that fixed up for you. There we go. I'm just returning through all the steps. I don't know why that's not. Well, I got it all messed up by making that one, so I'm gonna have to figure, I'll just do an accept. Now they're gone. I'll just Control Z back a little bit. There we go. Okay, so that's your making your any changes you want. You can kind of play around with. You can move the position of these holes. You can change this. You can change that. I think you can change this overall length a little bit. I think you can change how far these stick out. Okay, but you can play around with that, or you can try to do your whole new design on your own. Once it's saved, you'll upload that to your Google Drive and replace any files that got changed. Okay, our goal is to get these all printed next week. I mean, they should be able to get these printed pretty well because they're not that big. They can usually get 2 or 3 on at once, get a whole mess going. They'll figure that out. But we'll get these all 3D printed, and then you can actually build your rocket. Okay, just so you know, what's not shown are there are 2 little eye bolts. One screws in right here in the front, one screws in the back, and then we thread a wire through it. That's what keeps it going straight. You saw it wanted to go all over the place. Okay, we do it on a wire. Otherwise, it's totally unsafe, right? It's like, wow. But it is cool if you can get it to be kind of pointing down a little bit. So there we go. Any questions on what to do with this? Get into it, make a couple of changes if you want. If you don't want to, that's okay. Okay. You know, name mine the Randy Rocket. Randy's Rocket. Or My Cool Car. My Mother the Car. Anybody remember that show from the 1960s? Of course not. Only I remember it. I thought it was great. They only did about 6 episodes and it bombed so bad they got rid of it. So, My Mother the Car. But you guys all remember KIT, right? Kit from, what was that, Nighthawk? The guy's car, he had like, I'm sure that's what Elon Musk wants his little Cybertruck to be. Talks to you and thinks for you and does all these things automatically for you. Anyway, I like that one too. But I like MacGyver too. MacGyver was awesome. That was a great show. All right, there we go. Let's go. So save all this work, get it ready to go. That's today's work. Okay. Rocket car competition. Little talking points. Make your car, and was there what? Oh, and the show booth ideas. Okay, let's go to the show booth ideas. So I've got a template for you. And I'm not going to bother with a copy. Okay, this is where you're going to get ideas, show ideas, and if you have your own ideas and want to sketch them, just take an image of your own sketch and stick it in here. If you go, I know exactly what I'm looking for. It's going to be a rocket-shaped table with a, all sorts of cool stuff. You can really do it, okay? 9 images, though, that are going to help you figure out what your show booth design should be. Okay, 9 different images of what your show booth design should be. And I gave you a little video about how to find them online. But if you just go show booth, display booth, and do shopping, it's not too bad. Each time you put an image in, take a link to the source, and let me know, and you can just erase that and type, what about that image do you want to use, right? I want to use this color scheme. I want to use this type of furniture. I want to use this type of cool digital display. I want to use VR. I mean, you can put VR booth up. We've done that before. It's really, really cool. You want to do something like that, get the kids on a little VR, drag race thing. It says, okay, here you are in VR, now you're going to make your own. All sorts of things you could do, a bunch of different ones, and you can even put some that you go, this is awful. I absolutely do not want anything that looks like this. That's okay too. That's an inspiration also. There's things that inspire you to do things and things that inspire you not to do things. Okay? And it's wide open. I'd say maybe if you're looking at what's a reasonable budget that we might actually really do, $10,000 to $15,000. Okay? That's what we might actually really do. If yours comes out to cost $60,000 and is really cool, we still want to see it, right? And if you do something that's really awesome for $500, we might really like that, right? But I know somebody was thinking of putting it on a little trailer so that you could trailer it around and do, so, a trailer costs $8,000, $6,000, $5,000. So, $10,000 to $15,000 seems very reasonable. If you want to go a little above and a little below, you're fine. But you're welcome, as part of your design, to just buy something. It's perfectly okay. The best designs are ones that already exist and do the job, right? There's no reason to waste a whole bunch of materials and this and that and the other thing building your own if there's something that already exists that does the job. Okay? Cool. So 9 images. And then I think this one is a PDF. Okay, one other thing. Now I gotta do one other thing. Once you've got this thing all done, your assembly's done, you like it, everything's good. Let me do an update. Okay, right click. I think that's where I do it. Now I have to figure it out. Right click. No. File. Save as. Pack and go. It puts all of the parts in the most current format in a zip folder for you. So that if you've got one in that folder and one in that folder and one that's been updated 5 times and you don't remember which one it is in your drive, this is the quick, easy way to pull the whole thing together so you can send it to somebody. And we're just gonna practice that right now. Pack and go. And you'll see this more and more on big jobs. Revit has a version of this where you've got 8 linked files as part of it, and you want to pack it together to send out for bid. Well, you can't call that guy, I need your file and your file and your file and your file. And they do a pack and go type thing, puts it all in one folder, and you can send that or a link to that. Okay, so pack and go. Okay. Yes, I'm going to save all the changes. Okay. And then it's going to ask where to save my pack and go. That's okay. Doesn't matter if it's part of it or not. Destination folder. I'm going to put it inside. I'm just going to put it on my desktop. I like to put things on my desktop and then just move them. Desktop, project files, search now. There, it found all of the files down below. And there's 5 files, 1.6 megabytes. You can leave all the check marks over here just fine. Let's package it as a zip. And start. There it goes. Okay, let's see if I can find it now. Over on. Now I need to find it. Here it is. It made this for me. Oh, no, now it's going to try to open the whole thing up. Okay, but you'll find the it's here somewhere. Rocket car base assembly, pack and go. And now I got to figure out where it just put it. Oh, here's all the pieces to it. It just put them all on my desktop, and I could have put them into a folder, but I tend to just put them right there. So that is all of the stuff. It just put all in one place for me. Okay, found everything and put it together. And then it made something called a project for me. Okay. I thought I told it to put it in a zip, but I don't know where the zip is. Okay, so that's how to put the pack and go together. Inspiration. So those are the 3 things we're doing today. Cool?